part 2 of the reaction to my Formula 1 2024 documentary known as Docuedit. That is this video. This is the video we have watching. This previous week, we were watching the first 30 minutes of the documentary. That is 90 minutes long. And in this second part of the, watch along, let's watch the next 30 minutes of 90 minutes, from minute 30 to minute 60 of the documentary. And not only watching, this is not just watching, this is also watch along, analyzing every single edit, every single part of the documentary, giving you my insights as a creator of this video, commenting the stories we are watching during this documentary that is about the previous season 2024. A very quick recap. Anyway, by the way, if you are watching the replay of this live stream for whatever reason, the first part of the reaction to this documentary will be available in this card. I will place a card also available in the comments below this video. You can get access to the part number 1. If you're watching this on live, stay here, don't move, because this is gonna be epic. Anyway, if you miss part 1, it doesn't matter. You can stay here watching with me the second part, because this documentary is not like the other ones I made, like the Silver War F1 or Silver versus Red. This documentary is much different. It's everything is explained in the first part, but basically, to do a little recap, if we go to my blog, blog.danifloz.com, in the section Docuedit, here is everything explained. It's a documentary about the 2024 season, where that is formed or made by different driver edits, and all edits put together forms the Docuedit. In the first part, we watch the Carlos Sainz edit in Bahrain and Australia, the Oliverman edit in Saudi Arabia, the Lando Norris edit and his first victory in Miami. We watch also the victory in Monaco in 2024 of Charles Leclerc. We watch as well this one, no, still. We watch the last edit we watch is this one, the Sargent and Alexander Albon edit in Williams, and this is the last edit we watch in this video, in the Docuedit. That is available on my website. Probably you will get access also in the next part. I will place the link, but today let's watch the second part of the edit. That is all what happened after the Williams edit between Logan Sargent and Alexander Albon. That is this one. Yes, this is it. This is the edit.
Disappointed. I don't think we had the pace today.
Well, basically, the story between Logan Sargent and Alex Albon in Australia, where Logan gave his car to Alex after a massive crash he had in free practice 3 in Australia. And this is the last edit we watched in the first part. So that means now we will watch the next edit of this section of this Docuedit Formula 1 2024 season. Oops, this is not, sorry. So let me go to the points. That is here in the moment.
Yeah, I am just super grateful.
Sorry, no.
Felt a bit raw for sure, having a week off. I got to spend it sitting on a beach, but also getting some good training and seeing things from a different perspective.
This is the part where we left. Logan Sargent it's fired, or let's say ends his career in Formula 1 after a bad season, multiple crashes and different things that happened to the American driver. And this is exactly the point where we're going to start to watch the next part of the Docuedit 2024 season. And I hope you enjoyed. The second part is really intense. We have a lot of edits to watch from very different drivers. So let's enjoy it, and let's start the next edit. The next edit, it's about 3 different drivers. And the 3 different drivers it's this edit about. These 3 drivers are Liam Lawson, Franco Colapinto, and Pérez. These 3 drivers involved. The story is explained in my blog of this edit, and the story and the context behind this edit and the reason why I made this edit involving these 3 drivers. And basically, let's read the context because it's very important. Remember, at that time, Lawson starts to race in the final races of the 2024, substituting Daniel Ricciardo. Also, Franco Colapinto substitute Logan Sargent, the American driver in Williams, and Sergio Pérez was at that time in Red Bull Racing. He was not doing a good season. So why I involve these three edits in the same edit? These three drivers in the same edit, let's read the context. In the final quarter of the 2024 Formula 1 season, Lawson replaced Daniel Ricciardo in Visa Cash App Racing Bulls. Meanwhile, Franco Colapinto replaced Logan Sargent in Williams Racing. These two young talented drivers had only a few races to prove they deserve a seat for 2025 season. Colapinto had some races to do it, from round 16 of 24, and Lawson even less, from round 19 of 24. Very soon, Colapinto was able to do great performances like in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, where he qualified in the top 10 and he scored points on Sunday, something that the driver he substituted, Logan Sargent, was not able to do in the previous 15 races. Lawson had great moments as well, like in the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, where he qualified in top 5 for qualifying and scoring points on Sunday. Colapinto and Lawson were able to score points in one race more, in the US Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas, finishing 10th and 9th following the order mentioned before. At the same time, these two drivers were proving that they deserve to be recognized as a potential candidates for a seat in the Formula 1 2025 grid. Another driver was in the opposite situation. Sergio Checo Pérez was having one of the worst seasons of his career in Formula 1. The Red Bull racing car he had on hands was not so fast and easy to drive as it was the previous season in 2023. His teammate Max Verstappen was able to maintain a very high level of performance driving that Red Bull. From round 6, car started to show vulnerable against other teams that were evolving the car much better and faster, like McLaren, Ferrari and Mercedes. Pérez was on the podium in 4 of the first 5 races of the season. But since round 5 of 24, he was not able to be on the podium again, failing to score points in 8 of the 18 remaining races. In addition, he had controversial moments like his incident with Carlos Sainz at Baku City Circuit, where he was fighting for the podium when, in the last lap, both drivers collided into the wall. Meanwhile, Pérez was suffering every race to perform as the team was expecting. The other two drivers protagonists of this story, Lawson and Franco Colapinto, were catching the attention of other teams thanks to their good races in the final part of the season. Even Lawson had some battle and incidents on track with Checo Pérez, like in the Mexican Grand Prix. Lawson at that point of the season was not only fighting with Pérez on track, also he was doing it outside because rumors in the paddock were suggesting that it could be the last season for Pérez in Red Bull and it could be substituted by Lawson for 2025. Even Franco Colapinto sounded in these rumors at some point. The 2024 season continued until Abu Dhabi. Lawson and Colapinto were not able to score points again, even they had some incidents and crashes in the final races, but in general, the performance shown was excellent, considering the few amount of races they had to prove their skills in a Formula 1 car. By the other hand, Pérez had a terrible final races, scoring only one single point. All this combination of results ended with Lawson announced as a teammate of Max Verstappen, substituting Sergio Pérez in Red Bull Racing for 2025. Pérez was not able to find another seat, being out of the grid for 2025. Franco Colapinto finished his contract with Williams because his seat was reserved for Carlos Sainz since long time ago, but he was able to find a place, being reserve driver of Alpine for 2025. With possibility of racing at some point of the season. These three drivers were fighting for their future in Formula 1. It was a battle for surviving where they did his best to keep fighting for their dream, to be a Formula 1 driver. And that's exactly the context, guys. That's the context we will be able to watch in this edit, guys. This context was very important to be said or read now because, as I said at this point, sorry, let me check this. These three drivers were fighting for surviving in Formula 1, as you know. Obviously, now in 2025, we know the story. Actually, Lawson is not in Red Bull, is in Racing Bulls. Colapinto is racing for Alpine, not as a reserve driver, as an official driver, and Pérez was announced for Cadillac in 2026. But at that point, as I said, it was a fight for surviving in Formula 1. And now, let's watch all what I was explaining to you in this section of the blog in just 3 minutes. Let's go for it, guys. This edit is very intense, but it's really cool. Let's go for it. By the way, if you are watching this on live, please thumbs up the live stream, please. That helped me a lot to, you know, promote this video, this live stream, and in that way more people come to us to enjoy this documentary. So let's watch the edit. These are the news. Colapinto, that was racing in F2, replaced Sargent at Williams for the rest of 2024 season since the Italian Grand Prix.
An amazing opportunity that I dreamt about years ago. So yeah, I am just super grateful with the team.
Lawson, as we saw before, replaced Daniel Ricciaro in Visa Cash App Red Bull Racing, or RV, I don't know the name, for the rest of the season since round 19 in the United States Grand Prix, 3 rounds after Colapinto substitutes Sargent in Williams until the end of the season in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, basically trying to get to the points as soon as possible for me is the goal.
A lot of things to keep learning, a lot to understand of the tires.
This is Franco Colapinto in the Italian Grand Prix, his first race weekend as a Formula 1 driver.
When the margins are hundredths of a second like they are, it's a little bit frustrating.
The team is really happy.
And I was just happy to put that lap together.
And now let's see some highlights of these 2 drivers in their first races as a Formula 1 drivers.
Colapinto, extraordinary performance.
That was amazing by Colapinto, being in Q3 in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in the second round as a Formula 1 driver. He was able to be in Q3.
Really delivering in these wet conditions. So's Liam Lawson.
And Liam Lawson, who did an incredible qualifying in wet in Brazil. I think he finished 5th or something like that. As you can see, the music is really intense, but I think it fits very, very well.
Gonna be in the way. What was that?
Wow, that was dangerous. Liam Lawson in qualifying. And now Colapinto suffering in Singapore.
No.
Yeah, sorry, Franco, it's a good lap.
He's got past Pierre Gasly, finding the inside. Franco Colapinto.
Nice move to Fernando Alonso.
Pérez, but it's Carlos.
And now Sergio Pérez enters in the edit. Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I don't know if you remember that moment. Last lap fighting for the podium with Carlos Sainz in Ferrari. And
Sainz gets by, and this one's not over yet. We're heading into the wall.
What the f*** is he did, man? Is she crazy or what?
What happened there? I don't get it.
wow, what a moment, guys. What a moment. This crash is put in this moment of the edit. Obviously purposely, because in this moment is when Pérez starts to be in danger for 2025. In that moment there were a lot of rumors about he will be substituted by another driver, and obviously this crash in Azerbaijan didn't help with Carlos Sainz, and now this Colapinto, Lawson and Pérez are linked in this edit.
We normally do a slight drift towards the left into that long straight. For some reason that I don't understand, Checo and I collided.
It was really strange, I had to say. I don't know who is the fully blame here. It's very difficult. Carlos seems that he moved towards to the tires of Pérez, but at the same time he didn't move the steering wheel. Very, very weird accident where it's not easy to see whose fault, to be honest, in my opinion.
Exit in turn 2, there was plenty of room between both cars. It's very unfortunate. It all happened too quickly.
It's very unfortunate.
And round goes Sergio Pérez.
We
And now we see the nightmare season of Pérez in 2024.
have this disconnection with the balance, the rear axle. I was struggling quite a lot with it.
Out in Q1.
Really difficult to put the lap together.
That's driver error.
Into the low speed, I cannot brake.
We basically were slow.
Well, that was a very difficult season for Pérez, and I tried to compilate in these moments all the frustration in his words, in sometimes span, not understanding the car, being out in Q3 a lot of times. Nightmare season for Pérez that didn't help to him to continue in Formula 1 in 2025. Now let's continue the edit, and now enters again Lawson and Colapinto, and now we'll see not the highlights, the bad moments of both drivers, Lawson and Colapinto, that they had also bad races during the final part of the season where they join.
Alpha Tauri is such an idiot.
Alpha Tauri is Lawson. It's not named as Alpha Tauri. Alpha Tauri was the previous name of the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls team.
Lawson, not intimidated by a two-time world champion.
Fantastic, to be honest. I'm really happy, very proud of the team. I've done the best I could to finish in the top 10. I think we did a good job.
Now, good overtakes from Franco Colapinto in different races, Las Vegas, Azerbaijan.
The pace was okay.
Lawson moving the straight line when I was flipped.
Magnussen blaming about Lawson and his moves for defending. This is Albon that is saying that it was dive bomb by Colapinto. I don't know if you remember that. Franco Colapinto was really aggressive in the start at the Singapore Grand Prix. He went for it in the inside and almost crashed into here into Albon, his teammate, and that was Albon blaming about it.
What's he doing? Lawson, Colapinto.
Sorry, mate.
Some crashes.
10-second time penalty for Liam Lawson.
Sorry for that. It wasn't my intention.
Well, as you can see, we are seeing now moments of where Colapinto and Lawson did not great things. They made mistakes, they crashed. Like I try to I put these moments of Franco and Lawson at the same time to compare to Pérez as well. That not only Pérez was failing, in that part of the season. Also, they made mistakes, but it's normal because they were almost rookies. Well, Franco was rookie. Lawson not so rookie, but he was rookie as well. And obviously, they made mistakes, but in general, they impressed people, I think they would have a good job in their cars. Meanwhile, Pérez, with much experience at these drivers, was suffering a lot every single race, and it was getting worse every time. So it's like these three drivers keep fighting for a seat in 2025.
The car was so difficult and we understood the issues too late in the year.
Perez past two of them in one corner.
Wow, that move was really good from Pérez, I have to say. Let me watch it again.
Perez past two of them in one.
Wow, I think one of them is Lawson at the middle. The other is a Haas, but I don't remember if it's Magnussen or Hülkenberg, but this move by Pérez was really good.
Corner! Lock up from Perez.
Wow, this is a fight between the protagonists of the edit. This is Pérez fighting with Lawson in Brazil, and this is very important. I try to find in this edit moments where these three protagonist drivers coincide on track, fighting each other, to reflect that fight for surviving in Formula 1, guys. And this, for example, is a moment where Pérez is trying to defend and he goes wide and is being passed by Lawson.
Back through. Green light. Franco Colapinto.
This is very important in Qatar. Look at this moment. The green light, the lights are on green and Franco Colapinto is behind, but he realized that Pérez don't move under the green light and he takes a chance to pass Pérez in the pit lane. Look at that.
So there you go, there's the green light. Brilliant instinctive stuff from Colapinto. Big crash into the wall for Franco Colapinto.
Obviously, Franco Colapinto as well crashed, as in Brazil. He crashed twice, I think, in racing qualifying. He had also bad moments.
Oh, big crash! Franco Colapinto.
Even in Las Vegas, he also crashed, Franco Colapinto.
Are you okay? Yeah. You sure? Yeah.
Tough
Oh, terrible crash.
quality for us.
An opportunity for Perez.
Now, Mexico, that's very important. Here, Lawson and Pérez had a really hard fight.
Is he serious?
And Lawson stays ahead.
What the are you doing?
By the way, tonight, Mexican Grand Prix, let's see if we can see some kind of battles like this one. Should be nice.
Is he okay?
He did the same to Fernando last weekend. He did the same to Franco at the end of the race.
And this is Franco Colapinto and Liam Lawson fighting in the Mexican Grand Prix. The two of the three protagonists fighting on track, and look at what happened here.
Franco Colapinto, Liam Lawson, contact.
Debris at turn 12.
I guess he's the same idiot that crashed again.
And that was Pérez. That was told by the radio that the debris comes from Lawson, and obviously Pérez was very angry with Lawson and say something like that. This is also, I think, it's Pérez fighting with Lawson. Yes.
Now Lawson coming back on the inside into turn 8.
Past Hamilton, gaining
Now Lawson passing Lewis Hamilton on rain. That was great.
another place. Max Verstappen, and there won't be a contest there. Lawson knows who he wants to join next year.
And look at what's saying the commentator. He's letting pass. Lawson is letting pass Verstappen, and he was coming back from the very far part of the grid, knowing that he was playing that role. Lawson's tried to gain a seat in Red Bull Racing doing things like that. That was what he was saying, the commentator. You know that, and you know at that time Lawson that was fighting for the seat of Sergio Pérez. Probably that's why Lawson fought so hard with Pérez, because both knew that they were fighting for that seat in Red Bull Racing. You know, that's why this edit it's so on point. You know, I wanted to reflect that battle for a seat in 2025 between these protagonists. And at the same time, on the other hand, Franco also was involved, not in that seat for Red Bull Racing, but yes, in a context to show that he has the level enough to be in the grid in 2025. You know, so that's this edit is really interesting, connecting these three drivers.
He doesn't fight it.
I'm not trying to cause any issues or anything like that, but at the same time, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win.
This is Pérez in Abu Dhabi, the last race he had until probably his last race in Formula 1 forever, but obviously at that point we didn't know that he will be driving for Cadillac in 2026, but at that time he was out. And then that was the last race, Abu Dhabi, where the car failed, something on the engine, I don't know, and he retired.
I'm fighting for my future in Formula 1.
And I saying Liam Lawson, I'm fighting for my future in Formula 1. I'm not here to make friends. You know, that exactly reflects what this edit it's about.
As well, so that's what I'm focused on.
And that was what happened. Lawson confirmed as a Verstappen's Red Bull teammate for 2025. And that's the end of the edit. This is really short, but it's one of my favorites. It's really intense, a show that fights for surviving in Formula 1. I don't know. Let me know in the comments or in the chat if you are here on live what's your thoughts. But I really enjoyed this one. Not only making it, also, you know, searching footage for the edit, seeing how they were fighting every race for surviving in Formula 1. It's really cool. So, as always, I will take the occasion, guys. This is something I made in the past to show you something. In my Patreon page, that is patreon.com/FLoz. In my Patreon page, I have a collection that is named, let me show you, Docuedit collections. Docuedit, okay? By the way, now it's 50% off, by the way, if you would like to get it. In this collection, you can see what I name Developer Diary series. In these videos, I explain in detail, meanwhile I was making this edit, this documentary, how I was building the edits and what I was trying to reflect in every single edit. In episode 9, I think, or 8, I don't remember which episode, I talk about this edit about Franco Colapinto, Liam Lawson and Checo Pérez, okay? In that edit, I talk about it. But obviously, I also talk about the rest of the edits of the documentary in every single episode. For example, if we go to, for example, let's watch the episode 8, the preview.
Drivers, but the stewards decide to penalize to the driver involved that was not Russell, Max Verstappen in Qatar and Alonso in Australia. This incident will be connected to the Australia incident in the same edit.
You know, here I explaining some edits I was making about, this is about Russell and Verstappen, and this Developer Diary series have 10 episodes. In these 10 episodes, I give you a lot of information about how I create these edits, about the settings I use for create these videos, the story behind I was thinking about before to, you know, to start to make every single edit. It's really interesting. So I recommend you to take a look. And if you really are really interested, not only to watch the documentary, also to know much more insights about these stories, actually until October 31st is 50% off the Docuedit collection, you know. So it's your opportunity, guys. You have 1 week to get this collection half price. You can buy it here on this button if you wish. And if you like, guys, buying the collection here. This is for fans of my videos. So, I mean, so if you really love my work and you would like to learn much more about it, you have the option there in my Patreon. And also in that way, if you buy the collection or you become a FLoz Premium member, another option is to become a FLoz Premium member here, become a member. If you become a FLoz Premium member, you get access immediately to that collection. And not only that, to the rest of the collections, where I have much more content about other documentaries like the Ethan 1 F1 2021, the Silver War. I have exclusive posts about every single documentary where I explain more secrets about these documentaries. My F1 driver edits and clips. I have a lot of driver edits and clips where I explain much more things about the creation process of these edits. So being FLoz Premium member, you get access to the whole thing, or as I said before, you can just buy individually every single collection without being member, and to get access to the collection you can both. That's your chance, your decision. And now let's continue, guys. Let's continue watching. Let's move to the next edit that is about... Oh. Okay, this edit is really special. It's also one of my favorites. As is this edit, it's really unique because it's not about a particular driver, or it's just about a particular race weekend in 2024. One of the most intense races and one of the races I enjoyed most. That's why I dedicate a single edit, a whole edit, just to this weekend. And we are talking about the Canadian Grand Prix of 2024, where we have 3 drivers fighting for that win and also for the pole position: George Russell, Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. So let's watch this edit. I love it. Let's start to watch it.
Now, it's not only the track layout, it's just also now dealing with the weather, like how wet it's going to be.
You know, I'm a racing driver. My job is to drive the car as fast as possible, and I feel like I'm doing a good job at the moment. So, you know, I've got to be proud about that.
Russell goes ahead of
This is the qualifying session of the Canadian Grand Prix.
Max Verstappen to the front of the field.
If I do a good job, if the team perform well and get the most out of the car, then we have an opportunity to do so. So we don't come into it like we could win this weekend. I think we just do our job, and if we win, then we win.
Fighting for that pole, this is Lando Norris.
Lando Norris is trying to displace his compatriot George Russell.
Here we go.
Misses out. He's 200ths of a second away.
200s between 3.
200s was so close there.
Cars is frustratingly close in some ways, but also to be there, still to be in a good position to start Sunday in a good place is exactly what we want.
Here we go, Verstappen. Look at this shot. I made a very special effect. Let's see. It's really spectacular.
Look at the margin between these 3.
Love it. This effect is explained in one of the... Not sure if in the developer diary, not sure if it's explained, but I talk about it, I think.
Contenders. Max Verstappen is second with exactly the same time.
And remember, Verstappen did exactly the same time that George Russell in the Canadian Grand Prix. And obviously, Russell did it before, that's why he was on pole.
Set by George Russell first!
Positively surprised to be on the same lap time as George, but yeah, from our side to be P2 is a good effort.
And it's a second career pole position for the British driver!
What a great weekend did Russell here.
Boy George.
Great Russell.
Yeah, it feels amazing.
Hey, there's the T-pose. This is the T-pose. Wow. George Russell, I think, is underrated sometimes. He's like the invisible man. Sometimes you don't realize he's there, but always is there performing really well, mostly. It's not a driver that I'm super fan, I have to say. It's not a driver that, let's say, excites me or, you know, makes me feel excited, but it's a really good driver, man. Super fast. I would say Ben is faster in qualifying than in race, but wow.
I mean, you know, so much hard work back at the factory. It's feeling great, and yeah, so good to clinch this pole.
Ready. I'll move on to the race. Let's go to the race. This one, I have to say that this race obviously will be focused in these 3 drivers: Verstappen, Lando Norris, and George Russell fighting for the win. But we will see highlights from a lot of drivers of this race that happened during this race. Probably, maybe you forgot. This race was spectacular. Let's watch it and you will realize how many things happen. Obviously in rain conditions, that helps to create more drama. So let's watch it. Also, the music is very cool. I decided to choose a drum and bass song, and it fits really well in the rhythm of the beat. Let's watch it.
Loud and clear.
Radio check.
Loud and clear.
Max, the RS has been disabled.
Let's go.
And the Canadian Grand Prix is underway. George Russell.
Oh, Russell almost lost the place there.
Dropping across Max Verstappen. A huge amount of standing water on the racetrack.
This level of rain is the worst that we expect.
All of the cars except the Haas are on the Inters.
That's very important. The Haases, the two Haases, started on the wet tire and was the right decision. Let's watch now Kevin Magnussen passing a lot of people.
The two Haases are on those X-Wets.
Look at that, crazy move.
Let me know if we get behind now.
2.3.
Look at that, another one. It's fighting with an Aston Martin.
He's passing people for fun, and he's up 7 places from where he started. Magnussen's past Hamilton. He is having the time.
Look at that.
He's round the McLaren in 4th position.
Passing Piastri, I think. In this edit, I try to find a lot of team radios from Max, Lando, and Russell to give more context of this battle. 3 horses battle. They were fighting for the win almost the whole race.
Turn 1-2 is completely wet still.
Last lap, you were almost 2 seconds quicker than the cars ahead.
We had a lot of fun with Kevin Magnussen, but now that it's time.
That was terrible.
Who sees all
Terrible.
hard work undone.
Why didn't we wait on that if it weren't ready, guys?
What a shame.
I don't know what went wrong. Sorry, Kev.
That was painful because after the great comeback Magnussen did on the wets, the team cannot fail in that pit stop, man. They ruined literally all the hard work Kevin put on track on the wets in that pit stop. I don't remember where he finished that race, Kevin, but yeah, definitely it could be much better.
They're behind now with clear air, starting to close.
Track's drying much quicker now.
You're the quickest car, Albert.
Now we are in the part of the race where it stops raining and radio communication are massive to decide if when to enter to put dry tires. You know, these kind of races where the track gets dry and the driver that enters in the right moment when the track starts to fully dry and you can extract the potential of a dry tire. This driver is the one that gains advantage. So these 3, Russell, Verstappen and Norris, deciding carefully when was the right moment to enter in the pits to try to gain advantage over the others.
Lando Norris gets past Max Verstappen.
Now great move. Lando passed Max for 2nd place.
And takes 2nd place in the Grand Prix.
Norris, car behind.
Here we go. For the lead. This is for the lead.
For the lead. Norris.
Yeah.
George Russell is over the chicane.
Lando was flying on these conditions where the track was getting dry in that moment.
He's lost the lead. Verstappen's gone by.
I will gonna place it.
Stop raining heavily. We can't stay out on these tires.
Yeah. And Max Verstappen really intelligent as always, thinking in the moment it will be really dry, you know, to take advantage pitting first. Logan Sargent. Oh.
Logan Sargent.
Another bad moment we saw in the previous edit. This is one of the a lot of bad moments Sargent had, and that's why probably was out in Williams.
You sure? I'm pretty sure, mate.
The safe.
These are look at where they are. The 3 drivers fighting for the win. Where they are, super close each other. Well, no, I know this is Verstappen, Russell, and Piastri. Sorry, Lando was in that moment ahead of them. That's P2, 3, and 4.
Is deployed.
Safety car, let's box, Max, box. So safety car, box.
Obviously, all teams use the safety car to put dry tires.
Box.
Or no, inter tires still, I think.
Verstappen, Russell.
No, dry tires.
So good. Russell was released very quickly.
No, Inter.
Okay, let's box for it.
Inter. That's for a new set of Inter tires.
Exit. Max Verstappen is.
Oh, and now Norris lose the place with Russell and Verstappen, and also Piastri?
Lando Norris.
No. A nice Russell P2. Oh, this is the move, one of the moves of the season. Alex Albon, look at that.
Alex Albon.
Wow.
Oh.
Crazy. Wow, that was... For me, it's the overtake of the year. Definitely, that move.
This lap, Max.
Max will go for dry.
I could do one more, maybe.
And look at Lando is saying, no, I can do one more lap on Inter. Let's see if in that way we can gain advantage over Russell and Verstappen and to get exit first ahead of them in the next laps.
Big decision there.
Big decision and risky decision. He pits later and...
Pit exit.
In the lead. No.
takes first place.
It was close. It was close. He lost it there, but it was really close. Obviously, the problem was that it stopped later. He exited first because he gained advantage, because in that moment the track was dry but very cold and a bit damp, and obviously being on Inter, 1-2 more laps, you have the advantage. The problem is when you put the dry tire at the beginning, you exit and your rivals that stopped earlier than you, they really warm up the dry tire in these conditions, and obviously you exit with the dry tire in front in the lead, but with the tires much cold, and your rivals take the occasion to gain advantage and pass you, as Verstappen did, and now Norris went wide, locking up the tires, and Russell passed. So now it's Verstappen in the lead, second Russell, and Norris third. Look at how many times they exchange position between them for the lead, between 3 different cars. That's one of the reasons I made this edit. It's super exciting to watch. Super exciting to watch.
Second place.
Nice job.
Check pressures.
Now Russell made a mistake here. He went wide.
Yes, he has. Lando Norris is
and Norris take the occasion. Toto Wolff said, focus yours, you are the quickest, don't make mistakes, and he lost the second place against Norris.
The quickest car.
Oh, this is Pérez. Crash.
Rear wing has taken a battering.
Sainz. Oh, that was unlucky. Oh.
It's gutting for Albon.
Sorry for that.
That was very unlucky for Albon. We saw a lot of crashes in this part of the race. The track is dry, but you have to be on the line. If you are out, look at how slippery it is. A lot of drivers making mistakes.
Yeah, cover. Unlucky.
Unfortunately, Alex was not his fault. Now pitting, using this safety car for new set of dries. There is Hamilton. Look at Hamilton will be protagonist also in this edit.
George Russell comes into the pits, his teammate as well. The green flag flies. We go racing.
Nice Verstappen, Norris, and Piastri, I think. Both McLarens in the podium.
Russell trying to power.
Oh.
Close to contact.
This is Piastri with Russell.
Piastri stays ahead. Lewis Hamilton up.
Hamilton passed Russell using that error from George.
Fourth place. Lewis Hamilton has the DRS.
And Hamilton passed Piastri. Now it's in P3, Hamilton.
That Mercedes does get ahead. Can Russell get by this time around? Russell gets past.
Piastri had not the pace the Mercedes had in that moment. Had not the pace of his teammate as well. Piastri was a bit behind of these guys.
Fourth position.
Yuki Tsunoda going wide. Oh, obviously it's wet.
Spins the car.
Look at Nico. It's almost crashing into him. Wow. Valtteri as well. And look at Magnussen. He takes the occasion to pass these guys. Wow, touching the grass. That was risky, but brave move.
I've got the pace for the podium.
We are racing. Just remember, that goes without saying, keep it clean, please.
And Russell have more pace to pass Hamilton.
Versus Hamilton, the two silver arrows heading to the final chicane.
That reminds me to the old times of the Silver War. Unfortunately, it only was one race, this one, but when I saw this image, I was thinking in the moment I was making the documentary and to put some kind of Silver War logo for a moment in this moment to, to try to remind all good times, but no, I decided to don't do it. Wow, brave move as well.
Max Verstappen takes the win.
Great win.
Norris is second, and it's George Russell to complete the podium.
Yes, not easy.
Great win.
Great job, everyone. It's been a challenge.
As always, won the driver who made the less errors. Verstappen did not errors. Lando made some mistakes, and also Russell. And at that time, Max won.
Weekend again for us.
One of these kind of races where he didn't, let's say, for pure pace to deserve the win, but he won the race. It's so good, Max. Wow.
To come out of it as a winner, of course, I take that. So it was a very good team effort today.
The safety car helped me in Miami today. It helped me lose the race. It's just the way of racing. Tougher one to take when it's not on your side and you lose out like today.
I felt I made one too many mistakes out there. In the end, so many positives to take away from this race.
And we move to the next edit. As I said, but reminds that... oops, let's remove this. As I said, in the collection Docuedit, I explain more things about the Canadian Grand Prix edit in this video. In the episode 3 of the Developer Diary, I explain more things about this edit.
It's about...
I'm revealing here the edit because at that time anyone knew I was making that.
The Canadian Grand Prix. This is the last edit I made so far that I'm gonna show you in exclusive.
Here I show you in the editor how I was building it
for all of you about the Canadian Grand Prix. This is the beginning of the edit.
I show you early access content.
The track layout. This is also now dealing with the weather, like how.
Obviously, at that time it was exclusive content because I was uploading this before to publish the whole video. But not only I show early pieces of content, also I explain a bit more. All we were seeing now in this edit. So as always, this is in the episode 3 of the Developer Diary of the Docuedit 2024 collection. If you are really loving this and you would like to know more from me, the creator, you can buy the collection or become FLoz Premium member to get it. Next edit, guys. In this next edit, I think in the blog I have no information about this one because this edit is also special because it's about, let's say, George Russell. Also is involved Verstappen and Alonso a bit. And it's about what happened in the Australian Grand Prix in 2024, a crash George Russell had, let's remember it now, that had consequences. But first of all, let's watch it. This is Australian Grand Prix 2024, Russell chasing Fernando Alonso. I don't know if it was for 5th place, something like that. And this is what happened. Crash.
Oh, big crash! George Russell!
That was the last lap of the race.
With a massive accident!
And look at how it was the car in that moment. That was really scary and dangerous. He was in the middle of the track, no vision, in a corner that is super fast. The visibility is not clear in the exit. So in that moment, if a car come across the George Russell car, it's in a very dangerous situation. Remember that we will see in this edit things about it. In crashes like that, some racing drivers recently lost their lives. But let's watch it down now.
Red flag, red flag, red flag. I'm in the middle of a track. Red flag, red flag.
Obviously, Russell is really concerned now because he knows the situation he is in the middle of the track, in a corner with no visibility at the exit, when cars comes here and more than probably than 200 kph. So it's super dangerous, the position he is. That's why he's so concerned.
Red, 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 red.
Yellow ahead.
And this is the next car that will come to that point. It's Lance Stroll. Fortunately, his race engineer was fast, telling him that, be careful, man. In turn 6, there is a car across the track.
Off turn 6, yellow ahead, yellow ahead, danger, he's in the track, danger. Be careful, careful, careful.
I'm in the middle, red.
And move on to this part of the edit that is very important. We saw some photos. This is Antoine Hubert. If you know who is this guy, you know the story. He lost his life in 2019 in F2. He was in the middle of the track because he crashed in Eau Rouge. And one car, I think it was Correa, crashed into him when the car was in a static stop, like Russell was in Australia. And more than probably 200 kph, and the accident was so brutal that he lost the life. This is the driver that crashed into Hubert in that accident at the Spice Correa. I don't remember the name, but he was putting flowers in the place he lost the life. Antoine Hubert is terrible image. And this is a driver that is, I think, is named Dilano, and also he lost his life some years later, also in Spa, in a wet race. I don't remember the category. I don't remember if he was in Formula 4 or something like that. I don't remember. Similar situation. He crashed, and some car behind crashed into him when he was in a very low speed, or even stop at the middle of the track. A much less speed, but he lost his life as well there. That's why the situation was Russell on track at that moment was so dangerous. And Russell knew all these stories, knew the danger he was having at that time. That's why he was so concerned.
The virtual safety car is
Look at that.
out.
VSC.
Look at the stroll.
Safety car, Delta positive.
Oh, is he okay?
I don't know, mate.
Why so long?
VSC.
You can listen the breath of Russell. It was scary, but I understand that, man. Imagine you are there in the middle of the road, and in any moment one car can crash into you, and you cannot see it because you can have no vision, because you are like upside down in a very strange situation, because the tire is just underneath the car and it's elevated, and you have no vision of what is coming behind you. It has to be a super scary situation, man.
Okay, George, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm in the middle of the track.
And this is Fernando.
Problems on the throttle. I cannot go full throttle. It's very, very stiff.
Virtual safety car, slow down, get your delta positive. So Russell has reported that he's okay. Fernando just confirmed.
And Fernando was penalized for the accident Russell had. We can talk about it before, after that.
The driver has said he's okay, Lance. Focus on your delta.
6. VSC, so should have slowed down.
I can't see behind me with cars.
Of course, he had no vision. Look at I love when I found this clip from Russell's, from the onboard camera. I used it. I said it's perfect to represent where he is now. Like, inclinated, no vision in the middle of the track. Has to be so scary, so scary.
Yeah, I'm okay. Really don't know what happened, to be honest. I was half a second behind Fernando on the entry of the corner, and then suddenly, before the apex, I was right in his gearbox and lost the car, ran wide, hit the wall, and then it was obviously dramatic.
Basically, Russell was trying to say that Alonso slowed down more than normal to penalize the entry of Russell in the next corner, and in that way to gain advantage in the main straight. That's something was trying to explain Russell, and that's why stewards decided to penalize Fernando Alonso for that maneuver, let's say, that braking.
Few seconds after that, but yeah, disappointing end to a difficult race.
This is and obviously for this edit I have to put a lot of explanations for the people who was watching the Docuedit and had not too much idea about it, because it's complex. It's really complex. Here is saying Russell explained to the stewards that from his perspective Alonso's maneuver was erratic, took him by surprise and caused him to close distance unusually fast, and with the resulting of lower downforce at the apex of the corner. He lost control and he crashed at the exit of the corner. Exactly, that was what he was saying. Russell, what explained to the stewards, basically. Oh, sorry.
I think if it were not to have been penalised, it would have really opened a can of worms for the rest of the season.
So that means you have to accept.
That was the vision of Russell of the incident, and now the other part, Fernando Alonso, because he was obviously not agree with that decision, because from the perspective of Alonso, he said, "Man, how can I be penalized because Russell just behind me went off and crashed?" And here I put more explanations that is saying Fernando Alonso has been given a 20 seconds time penalty following the Australian Grand Prix after the stewards determined that his driving before George Russell crashed out of proceeding was potentially dangerous. Alonso explained to the stewards that he intended to approach he intended to approach turn 6 differently, lifting earlier and with less speed into the corner to get a better exit. That's the key, guys. Basically, Alonso is defending that he back off a bit earlier than normal to gain more speed for the next main straight, to gain more advantage over George Russell and to avoid being overtaken by him with DRS. But Russell point of view is he back off to cause the George Russell car was closer in turn 6, in the middle of turn 6, and in that way to get more dirty air, being closer to Fernando in that corner, and having a worse exit in that way, and not having the opportunity to pass Fernando in the last lap in the main straight with DRS. That's the two versions why Fernando Alonso back off earlier in that corner, in that lap, in comparison to other laps where he brake later. That's a conflict. Now let's see what's the opinion of Alonso.
That they're taking tools away from you in that respect. Your ability to defend, to choose your braking point, to choose your line.
Well, I think it was one-off. It will never be repeated the same, and I think we will never see a decision like in Australia ever again. So I accept it. I take it. I had few of those, too many of those in my career, and hopefully, or at least no one else is having this kind of outcomes, so I take it.
Well, Alonso is really intelligent. Sometimes it's difficult to understand what he's trying to say, because I always had the opinion that the marshals were much more severe or aggressive with them in terms of penalize his maneuvers on track, because he always spoken very open and he had no problems in to criticize Marshall's job. He's a very direct driver, Fernando Alonso, how he is. And basically was saying that it will never happen again, because probably Marshals will never repeat a decision like that in terms of penalize someone for what Alonso supposedly did. So yeah, it's mind games. It's difficult to explain, but basically Fernando Alonso is defending himself using all his tools in these interviews. And now move on. This edit continues, and it's now move on to another race of that season where it's involved George Russell and Max Verstappen this time for another polemic maneuver. This edit trying to explain different maneuvers that was involved George Russell, and how Russell also plays with the with the rules, with the steward's decision to try to gain advantage, from his point of view. We all know Russell how it is. He's really polite, but also he's very strict and straightforward with the rules. He always trying to find or try to how to say. He's very very serious guy in terms of how to respect rules. He's always in attention in how rules can be applied and how he can gain advantage using the rules in his favor. And this is another moment when in qualifying in Qatar, he's in a flying lap and Max Verstappen is preparing his lap for the run, and that's what happened.
And that...
Look at that. No, I think... I don't remember. I think George Russell was preparing the lap. George Russell. I don't remember now this, but I think he was preparing the lap. He accelerates and he catch Max Verstappen that is preparing the lap. And Russell said that was dangerous what Max Verstappen did, not letting by Russell or letting him pass.
It was Russell.
Super dangerous by Verstappen.
That was a build lap. So if it's a build lap, then they can get away with it. If that was a timed lap, then that is a slam dunk penalty.
Here the key is that some people said that both were preparing their laps. They were not in a hot lap. They were preparing the lap for qualifying. Some people said that Russell did that purposely to close the gap with Verstappen suddenly, to force Verstappen or to force Marshals to believe that Russell was impeding by Max Verstappen. But at that time, both were preparing the lap. So it's weird, weird situation.
He's got it by 0.05 of a second.
Verstappen got pole.
Official pole since Austria. Well done, mate.
Yeah, well done. Great job, guys.
But something happened, obviously.
It was a bit of a moment with George that we saw. Were you aware of him?
Yeah, I mean, we're all just lining up to start our lap. So it's what it is. I mean, nothing happened.
We saw the moment with Max on your final lap. How much did that impact you? Can you talk us through it from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely didn't help. When you're going through the gravel 2 corners prior to starting your lap. I think everybody improved on that last lap. I went 2.5 tenths slower.
And that's the polemic. Max Verstappen has lost his pole position starting spot for the Qatar Grand Prix after being hit with a one-place grid penalty by the stewards, following an incident with George Russell during the final part of qualifying in Qatar. And obviously that makes really furious to Max Verstappen. Maybe you remember the season, the story. Supposedly they had a very aggressive meeting with the stewards at that night in Qatar between Verstappen and Russell. There are rumors that say Max Verstappen insulted Russell, but these are rumors, obviously. We didn't saw or listen nothing because it was in private. In a document published by FIA, they note that Russell stated that if a car goes going slow in a high-speed corner, it should not be on the racing line. That was defending George Russell, but both were preparing a lap. Normally, drivers left gap between them, but Russell decided to accelerate. That's the polemic, let's say, probably. That's what Verstappen maybe was defending as his point of view. Why Russell accelerated to start the lap if he had Verstappen in front preparing his lap? You know, it's... The document said car 1 did not comply with the race director's 7 notes and clearly was driving in our determination unnecessarily slowly considering the circumstances. It was obvious the driver of car 1 was attempting to cool his tires. He also could see a car 63 approaching as he looked in his mirror multiple times wheels on the small straight between turns 11 and 12. That's why Verstappen was penalized with one grid penalty position following this steward rule. Maybe they were right. That was what happened. Obviously, it was weird action. That's the moment in slow motion in the left side. And this is what says... When it was put to him that Verstappen had accused him of lying during the steward's hearing, Russell responded. So Verstappen accused to Russell of lying about what said to the stewards to force the penalty of Verstappen. And that's what Russell said. Not really. What he was doing was pretty clear. He was going too slow and he was on the racing line. And we all have the rules to follow and he doesn't follow it.
Fight hard.
Russell continues, if I find his comments pretty ironic when he comes out and says, I'm going to purposefully crash into you. I'm going to put you on your F-word head in the wall. That's the rumors was said by Russell. It has to be true. In the marshal's room, when they were discussing about the maneuver before to receive a penalty or not, Verstappen... Rumors said that Verstappen said that to George Russell because he was very angry. And this is the response to the words Verstappen said to Russell, this kind of bad words.
And it's never personal. And what happened at the weekend, from my side to Max, was not personal.
I still can't believe that someone can be like that in the steward's room. For me, that was so unacceptable because I mean, we're all racing drivers. We all have a lot of respect for each other. We even, play sports together. You try.
Meanwhile, Verstappen was explaining that situation with Russell. I put purposely this image with Lando and Verstappen. That is the opposite relationship they have. They were, I don't know if they are friends, but let's say that relationship with Lando and Max is much better than with Russell. And it's a contrast. That's why I decided to put this B-roll footage at the background of the Verstappen's words.
Together, and of course you have moments where you get together, you crash or whatever, you're not happy. In my whole career, I've never experienced what I have experienced in the steward's room in Qatar, and for me that was really unacceptable.
Was really, angry Verstappen in that words. We can feel his frustration with Russell. I don't know how was the reaction of Russell in the steward's room, but definitely something happened there. Very intense. That's for sure. Following the words Russell and Verstappen said about that event in the marshal's room in Qatar.
Has to stand up to someone who thinks he's above the law. The words he said is totally unnecessary. He's crossed the line and I'm not going to accept it.
He's talking about the words Verstappen said to him. Verstappen was really disrespectful with Russell. That's what he's saying, Russell. And now, finally, let's listen to Fernando Alonso, the other driver that was protagonist in this edit for the previous accident decisions Marshall took in the Australian Grand Prix. That was also a bit weird. Let's see what's the opinion of Alonso of this incident between Russell and Verstappen, because it's very interesting.
When they apply a penalty to someone, why we don't follow that path, and in the next race is not applicable anymore, depending sometimes which nationality you are. If I do that, I will not.
Oof.
I will not receive the same benefit as George did probably.
Wow, that's big worse. Big worse. Obviously, everyone have his own opinion. Here we are. This is very polemic. Obviously, Fernando is saying that depending on your nationality, you will be penalized more or less. Yeah, it's his opinion, his point of view. People that is watching the documentary right now with me, or in the replay, you will have your own opinion. Probably some of you, it's with George Russell, and you are convinced that Russell is right and these drivers made something wrong and they should be penalized. Some of you will be in the side of Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen, saying that George Russell was using the marshals or explains things and maneuvers in a way that benefit him much more, trying to put in a bad way or in a polemic situation to the other drivers involved on his accidents, Verstappen and Fernando Alonso. But this is just your decision. You have your own opinion. Obviously, let's continue listening, Fernando.
There, or maybe my incident in Australia, contactless, and I get the penalty. Sometimes you wonder if you switch the positions and you are the other guy, if you will have the same treatment. In this 2024,
Well, and that's the end of the edit. Yeah, I mean, this edit is very polemic. I know. Probably the less exciting to watch is about polemic, maneuvers, marshals, penalties. But I decided to create it and to connect these two episodes in Qatar and Australia and Qatar between Alonso, Russell, and Verstappen. Because this is also Formula One, and also I wanted to reflect how much different is the personality of the different drivers of the grid in Formula One, and this, I think, one of the reasons because Formula One is getting so much success and is also attracting a lot of new people, apart from the Netflix series Drive to Survive, apart from the Formula One movie, I think the reasons why Formula One is having so much growth in terms of global audience is, I think, because the drivers they are involved, they are really different each other. Their personalities are super different. The way they understand racing, the way they understand competition, the way they driving, their driving styles between these drivers, not only Russell, Verstappen, or Alonso. I am talking also about Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, now Antonelli, the rest of the drivers, everyone. It's really different in the way they approach races, situations, penalties. This edit shows that Formula One is not just racing, also it's the way you play your cars outside the track also, as here we're doing Alonso, Verstappen and Russell also. And this is part of Formula One as well, let's be honest. So, and this is something people also enjoy. People enjoy to see real persons, but not only on track. I think we also appreciate to see the real opinion of the drivers about their incidents on track. I think that's why because we cannot forget something. Okay, Formula One is mechanical components as well. It's aerodynamic. It's mechanical grips. It's engineering. It's a lot of things that are made by machines, to say in some way. It's a very robotic world, to say in some way as well. It's cars, but the drivers are human beings and they have feelings and they have personality. And I think, at least for me, I'm talking about me just specifically, one of the reasons I also make videos about Formula 1 all these years is to show the human side of Formula 1. I think I'm here because when I'm watching a race, I'm not watching cars racing. I'm only watching drivers with different personalities, different ways to approach racing, fighting each other. You know, I think that connects to me and connects to the fans. You know, I think we are connected by the human being inside of the car and under the helmet. That's why we love Formula 1 as well. People even love more Formula 1 from a much more technical point of view. Okay, that's right. But don't forget that they are human beings and they have feelings, opinions, and different ways to understand racing life. And I think also it's what everyone loves and why Formula 1 also is really, really popular. But anyway, let's continue, guys. I will not extend too much more about it. Next edit, I connected with Fernando Alonso. Let's watch now the Fernando Alonso edit in the Docuedit 2024. And for this edit, by the way, in the Docuedit, in the collection of the Docuedit, also I dedicate an episode where I talk about this edit we watch now between Russell, Verstappen and Alonso.
But the stewards decided to penalize to the driver involved that was not Russell, Max Verstappen in Qatar and Alonso in Australia. This incident will be connected to the Australia incident in the same edit. And also I made a montage here with photos of Russell and Verstappen about what they said each other in the stewards room. Also, as you can see, Fernando Alonso is involved.
Basically, in this developer diary, this is the episode 8, I explain a bit more in detail how I was building this edit for the Docuedit 2024 season. It's in the episode 8 of the developer diary, inside of the collection in my Patreon page, Docuedit F1 2024. If you would like to know more details, you can buy the collection, episode 8, and also you will get access to the rest of the episodes where I explain a lot of things about my edits. Actually, 50% off until 31st of October. So this is your opportunity in case you love my videos and you would like to learn more about them. Patreon page, patreon.com/FLoz. Also, you can, remember, become a member, FLoz Premium, and to get access to this collection of the Docuedit, to the episode 8 where I explain more the situation I was talking about, and also to the other collections, the 8th and 1, the Silver Word, about F1 driver edits and clips, where I explain a lot of secrets about my edits, the Silver Word, the 8th and 1, all my documentaries that I was making during the last 11 years. As I said, let's watch the next story of the Docuedit, guys, that is about Fernando Alonso. Let me drink for a moment. I hope you enjoy this live, guys. It's very intense, this part of the Docuedit, and I really love it. Let's watch let's read the context of the edit of the Fernando Alonso edit. Okay, this is edit, as I said, focus only in Fernando Alonso and his 2024 season. Fernando Alonso starts. Well, let me put it. Fernando Alonso starts the Formula 1 2024 season looking for good results and great battles on track with the top team drivers, as he did the previous season in 2023, when he finished 4th in the Drivers' Championship, achieving 206 points and 8 podiums. During the first races in 2024, the car still being fast in qualifying. Fernando was able to qualify in the top 5 places in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Japan or China. Unfortunately, things changed completely every Sunday during the race. Alonso tried to defend in race from the McLaren's, Ferrari and Mercedes drivers, but the race pace of the Aston Martin set his car as the 5th fastest team, far away from those teams. Every race his brilliant qualifying position achieved on Saturday was ruined by the poor performance of his green car on race. The key moment of the season, the moment everything goes down for Fernando, is at Imola during the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. After a crash in the practice 3 session, Fernando ends last in qualifying, some hours later, with the unpredictable car that a 2-time world champion cannot extract inner speed on it, because the upgrades the team brought did not work and made the car even worse. After the Imola weekend, things start to get worse weekend by weekend. The problems with the car continues every race weekend when the upgrades the team brings doesn't not work as it should, losing more ground with the top 4 teams and being caught little by little by the rest of the teams, Alpine, Haas, Williams, RB. In the second half of the season, Fernando Alonso has difficulties to qualify in the top 10
and to put the car on points on Sunday. Something absolutely incredible looking back to where the team was some months ago. But despite all these difficulties, Fernando kept fighting as a true world champion in every session, doing incredible overtakes and achieving points in weekend where the car was not in conditions to do it. Fernando never gives up, and his samurai spirit don't let him stop pushing the car to the limits to try to reach the best results possible for the team. Alonso hopes is still alive after a very difficult 2024 season. Lawrence Stroll, the owner of Aston Martin, has reached a deal with the best engineer of the history in Formula 1, Adrian Newey, to be part of the team from March 2025. Newey was one of the wishes Alonso had a lot of years ago. Now he and Adrian will fight together. That means that probably Alonso will have a car to be competitive again and to fight with the top teams and drivers, which is the place where he belongs. As you can read here, guys, this edit, it's really inspirational about Fernando Alonso in a difficult season when he had a much worse car than in 2023. Let's see during this edit the frustration of Fernando after starting in a good position. Even in the first races he had a decent car, but a bit far away from McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari and Mercedes. But he is still fighting. So let's watch this edit right now.
We start with a good baseline, yes, but with a lot of things in the pipeline for the rest of the season.
Unfortunately, these things didn't work. The car was worse and worse during the season, but at that point, at the beginning of 2024, and after achieving 206 points in 23 and 8 podiums, obviously Alonso was looking forward to keep fighting with the top teams and even for wins, who knows. But obviously, the season was not in that direction. This music is about some kind of samurai music, because the samurai spirit is really present in this edit. Later on I will explain a bit more about the samurai things and Alonso.
Fernando on fire.
This is the first races of the season, Bahrain.
Alonso gets to third position.
And we were thinking that we were not that fast compared to Red Bull and Ferrari, and now we are in the same 10th of them.
This is Bahrain, the first race. In the first race, the Aston Martin was really good car in the first races in 2024. Not so competitive as in 23, but it was there, not too far away from Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, all these teams.
Qualifying, which is a surprise.
Alonso's in the mix. Could we see a magical moment? It's fourth place. He gave it everything.
He was qualifying in top 5 frequently at these moments.
I think the one-lap performance seems very strong on this car.
Alonso to P5. He wrung absolute
P5 in Japan.
Everything he had.
Extremely happy. There is not much left on the car today. It seems that we squeezed every 10th of a second.
The 42-year-old, can he get back to the front row? He can!
I think we are not
In China, I think he qualified second or third. I don't remember now.
The easiest opponent for everybody else.
It's Fernando Alonso gets the jump on the...
Look at that, he was third in the Chinese Grand Prix and passed Pérez, almost passed Verstappen.
The commitment and confidence he had around the outside of turn 1.
Look at that, was fighting for the lead in China.
Was staggering. Oh, that was an aggressive start.
Great start, P2, but then fastest lap and P7, so all in all I think...
But they finished P7. At the end, the qualifying performance was not so good as in race. The car was not so good.
Good weekend.
And here is the moment, Emilia-Romagna, round 7, when everything changed for Fernando in 24 and the season completely. This is free practice 3 of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola. Here, Aston Martin brought a very important package of new upgrades that should make the car faster and be able to fight with the top teams. But these upgrades were the starting point when the car starts to get worse and worse.
You okay, sorry, red flag. You okay,
Yeah, all good.
Oh, Fernando Alonso, the man who crashed.
And this is qualifying. After that crash in free practice 3, 2 hours later or 3 hours later, he has to qualify, but he made a lot of mistakes. The car was terrible to drive because it's very unusual to see Fernando to make so many mistakes.
In FP3, very nearly did the same thing again.
Obviously I was lacking laps today. Eventually I did my best lap on the very first lap with a lot of fuel in the car, so I think there is more pace, but yeah, one of those days.
And he was eliminating Q1, terrible weekend. That weekend was the moment when everything goes down for Alonso.
As I said, they started in the first races even fighting for achieving top 5 places with the top teams. And now in this part of the edit, the music changed, much more dramatic at the beginning. And in this part of the edit, I will show all the frustration and bad moments Fernando Alonso had during this season, having a much worse car.
Fernando Alonso not happy with that session at all.
Tricky weekend to find the balance of the car. I made a mistake in turn 6. I didn't have the confidence and the trust anymore to really push.
Another mistake by Alonso, in a car that is not so easy to drive as it was in 23. Being passed in race.
The McLarens have steadily passed Fernando Alonso.
This is a scenario that was repeated a lot of times. It was qualifying in top 5 places, even top 3 sometimes. But then in race, the pace was much worse than the cars it was fighting with in qualifying.
It will be interesting to see if we can keep the pace of development of the car comparing the top team.
That's very important what he said, Fernando. That was said at the beginning of the season, and when I found that phrase, I said, yes, this is exactly what I want to represent in the edit. Fernando Alonso was on the point here. The key for Aston Martin in 24 was to see if they would be able to maintain the level of upgrades during the season. But Aston Martin, we saw in 24 that they were not prepared. They have money, they have the structure, they have the driver, but they are not a top team still.
Hamilton getting past, and Alonso's fears about the race pace are proving correct.
You can see how every single race
The speed
lose places with the top teams.
Alonso is out in the second part of qualifying. Alonso over a second away from the overall pace. He is out in Q2.
In the middle of the season, being out in Q2 multiple times, when he was in the first races fighting for top 5, top 3, the car was much worse and worse every race.
Tough qualifying, we are not fast enough.
But we all know Fernando Alonso. He's a warrior. It doesn't matter the car is driving, the difficulties he had. He will give everything he has, always. And this is what I want to reflect in this edit and in this particular moment.
It was a dream when I was a kid to drive in Formula 1 one day, and I spent more than 2 decades. Every second I do enjoy a lot.
This is Fernando.
Fernando Alonso, he fights his way by.
Now we are seeing some highlights.
From the difficulties, so that's what we try to do and get stronger for the next one.
And Alonso will love to make the move as quickly as possible, and that is as quickly as possible.
Fighting with the Ferraris, McLarens. He knows he has not the fast car to compete with them, but he tries. And again and again and again.
It was a challenging race for us. We didn't have the pace, we were not comfortable, so we need to get better.
Fernando Alonso past Lewis Hamilton.
Even passing Lewis Hamilton in China.
A lot of traffic, no one to blame. I think they cannot vanish. Being like the 7th or 8th fastest team by our calculations, so to be P11 is good.
Being one of the slowest teams, he was able to be P11. Overperforming the car constantly at 43 years old or 42. That's legend.
Pérez retakes second place.
We changed completely the whole setup, just trying something different. We're still more or less in the same position. You are a little bit out of control, but at the same time the car is responding well to whatever you ask him. We are 10th fastest team on dry, and then we were P2 in qualifying 2. That shows the level of commitment we had.
Level of commitment, that's a word.
Leclerc is able to get ahead. Entertaining battle between these two.
Losing places.
Norris trying to get past the oldest driver in the field.
The oldest driver, but one of the best.
Fernando Alonso. Ocon finally does pass Fernando Alonso. Alonso's been given a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision.
Obviously, having some incidents during the season, not everything is good, but it's there, still there.
What the is he doing?
Still fighting. We saw that moment in the previous edits with Lawson and a crash in Sao Paulo in qualifying.
A big hit into the barriers.
You okay, mate? Yeah, sorry.
And this is the best, intense and most epic part of the edit. And you have to watch this part. This is the reason I made this edit. This is what I want to represent in terms of driving in Fernando Alonso. In this part of the edit you will see a mix of a lot of things. You will see samurais, geishas, Japanese things, Adrian Newey, but let's watch it all together this moment. It's really symbolic.
I never fear anything. In any lap, in any moment, in any corner.
Is there a chance for Fernando Alonso? Gets to the apex first, and Alonso...
More overtakes. Onboard.
Alonso's going to make the move now.
That's in Albon.
Go around the outside.
Great move.
A racing driver and a samurai are very linked.
A racing driver and a samurai are very linked. Why always these references to the samurais? Because Fernando Alonso loves the samurai culture, the Japanese samurai culture. I explain sometimes. Since long time, he has a big tattoo in his back. I think it will be shown in this edit. He loves the samurai culture that says that you never give up. You have to give everything you have in every situation. That represents that culture, that philosophy represents really well the driving style and the commitment of Fernando Alonso. That's why he's so fan of the samurai culture. And also knowing that, I represent that in the edit, as you will see now.
Nearly dropped it from the gravel. Oh, how has he done that? It's wheel to wheel.
Carlos Sainz.
Nearly back wheels. Sainz gets ahead. Alonso late on the brakes though.
Wow, almost touching. And now this part of the edit, you have to watch it. Just watch it. Adrian Newey is involved, looking for 2025, 2026. Can happen. Can Fernando Alonso have a car in the future to fight again for a world championship? Can Newey help to Adrian Newey, the engineer that comes from Red Bull, that is the most successful engineer in the F1 history, help to Fernando? All these ingredients, this cocktail, we will see now in this part of the edit, and this is incredible. It's super epic.
Ready to go for 2025.
That was Adrian Newey. Let's watch it again.
Ready to go for 2025.
The samurai tattoo. We see a flag. At all times, Fernando Alonso being champion with Renault. And that's the end of the edit. Hi, how are you, man? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. You come here in the right moment. Just in the final edits of the second part of the docu edit, but very intense. Guys, what we saw this moment, the sword being, shown by the geisha, it's a metaphor as well of what Fernando Alonso needs now, a good sword to fight again for good things, It's a metaphor. This edit is very special. You have to watch it and to stop in different frames, especially at the end, and you will realize of a lot of details. It's very intense. And as always, guys, about this edit, also I have information in the official collection of the Docuedit in my Patreon page, patreon.com/FLoz. You will have a link in the comment section. In the collection of the Docuedit, I have a special episode dedicated to the Fernando Alonso edit as well. I don't remember the episode actually, but it's there. I'm sure it's there. I think it's the Alpine with the Alpines. And I explain a lot of things about that edit, a lot of insights that you can get buying the collection. Actually, 50% off, guys, remember. And also available if you become in FLoz Premium member. Here, you will get access to the full collection of the Docuedit and also to the rest of my collection, the Silver War, the 8th and 1, driver edits and clips, where I explain a lot of things about my edits, my documentaries. You have the possibility there. Next edit, we're coming to the end in this live stream, in this second part of the Docuedit. I think left 2 more edits before ends the second part of the Docuedit, and this edit, it's about the Alpine drivers last season, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly. Yes, I made an edit about these 2 drivers. I don't remember if I have written a post in the blog about this edit in particular. I think no, about this edit, no, it's not written an episode, the context of this edit, but basically, this edit was dedicated to the Alpine drivers because, as Fernando Alonso, they had a terrible season at the start for Alpine. They had a terrible car. This season is having a terrible car as well, but they had a terrible car in 24 at the beginning. In this season, when the second season for Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, the French drivers, as a teammates. And also, they had episode battles between them during this season. But the reason is why I made an edit about Alpine in 2024 if they had so bad season. I just saw you were live now. Too bad. Don't worry. You can watch the replay later. But anyway, even you can continue watching the two edits that's left that are spectacular. I hope you enjoy. Don't worry about it. So as I said, the reason is why I made an edit about these drivers. Because after all difficulties they have in 2024, there were an episode, probably you know, if you watch that season, in a particular Grand Prix where everything changed in an unexpected way. They had a slower car on the grid at the beginning of the season. And this is what we're gonna watch in this edit. How a team that it was the last car at the beginning of the season, in an extraordinary circumstance, they achieve an incredible result in a particular race. So let's watch the Alpine edits.
When you come with a new car concept, starting from scratch, there is just so much to understand about it and identify what are the strengths and weaknesses of the package you got.
Well, this is very important. Pierre Gasly was saying at the beginning of the season in the pre-season testing in Bahrain that they decided to create a new concept of the car, not based in 2023, and to see if in that way they can get close to the top teams. But the result was terrible. They had to understand a lot of things in the car, as Pierre Gasly was saying, and they started in a terrible way the season. This is the first race of the season.
Ocon improves his lap time, not his position. It's a sorry state of affairs for Alpine, out in the first part of qualifying. Ocon.
Both Alpines in the first race out in Q1. That's the start of the new car concept. That's how it starts the season for these guys.
Ahead of Gasly.
It's important that we go in the same line and we keep the chin up because we need to be progressing, otherwise it's going to be a long year.
We knew it was going to be.
Ocon still saying that they have time, a lot of races to go. It's a new car, it's normal. We are changing things. We have to understand it. Everything will get better if we continue pushing. That's the hopes of Esteban Ocon and Gasly. As you can see their faces in the first part of the season, they were depressed. They were so sad knowing they had a terrible car at the start of the season. And obviously the music I used for this edit is fantastic. For me, it's fantastic. It's classical music, but fits very well of how it went the season for these two drivers in 24.
Tough. Yeah, not a surprise.
First race for Gasly. Contact, losing the front wing.
Tool from the Alpine, waving him through. They're not even putting up a fight with an RB.
He is out, Esteban Ocon. So is Pierre Gasly, as Alpine's really tough start to the season.
Pierre Gasly eliminated, Esteban Ocon eliminated in Q1 again in Saudi Arabia.
Quick enough yet. We are not quick enough yet.
We are not quick enough yet. Australia.
Oh, Esteban Ocon finally puts an Alpine ahead.
We are through P15 as it stands.
You're joking?
No.
Feels like a bit of a victory that we're done.
Look at that. I put that in radio to represent what it was the season. Esteban Ocon was celebrating a P15, guys, in qualifying. That was the level they were in 24. Celebrating, they passed to Q2. So that resumes exactly where was the Alpine. Celebrating a P15 in qualifying.
Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda.
But in race, Gasly and Ocon.
For P4. This year he wins the race and we're fighting in 13th.
Sadly, that's what Gasly said. In 23, he said, I was fighting with Carlos Sainz for P4, and next year in the same circuit he was fighting for P13. That's the situation.
We are through. Well done.
Celebrating again Ocon passing to Q2 because they knew where the car was, that Alpine, and to be in Q2 was a victory for them point of the season at the start.
Good job. It's a small satisfaction. We need to find more performance for the future, keep digging all the little details. Good lap in Q1, unfortunately not enough in Q2.
And now, move on to the next races of the season, because the problem is that apart from all problems both Alpine drivers had, they fought each other. And that doesn't help as well. They had bad moments on track between them, touches. Let's watch it.
Yeah, it was a good lap again, the traction. Can't go back on power.
Pierre Gasly desperate, absolutely frustrated with the car he has. I think Gasly kinda underrated, you know, but a lot has to click for him to really show what he can do. He's not happy at Alpine anymore either. That team's time is long gone. I'm pretty curious when rumors will start again about them selling the whole team. Yeah, definitely. We can discuss about a lot about Alpine, but from my point of view, they are doing things really bad. And I'm being honest, next year they will use a Mercedes engine. People says that the Mercedes engine looks stronger. Maybe they will have a much better car, but I think they are not building a team. I had that feeling as well. I think Alpine, previously Renault, he had fantastic drivers. He had some good cars, but they, for some reason, they don't find the structure they need to do the leap to fight with the top teams. You know, it's like even they were not able to do what Aston Martin tried to do, and they almost did in 23. It's like, yeah, they don't have the structure. They don't know how to overcome the situation, and I had that feeling as well. I think Alpine is, for me, I think it's gone sooner or later. I had that feeling as well, but let's see what happened. Anyway, let's continue watching this season for Alpine.
Yeah, Pierre gave me a hit.
First contact, Ocon touching Gasly in the Japanese Grand Prix.
We had contact on the left with Esteban, and it took me all the left part of the floor.
Now, this is Tsunoda passing Gasly in Suzuka. Amazing pass by the outside.
Where are we? What?
Sliding over the place with the rear tires. Feels like we overheated the tires.
More problems, but pit stops. Look at that. Oh, look at that. The people falling down in the pit crew, in the pit stop there. Everything was terrible.
Man, that is a quick direction.
Losing places, Ocon with Alonso.
Get the rewards that we wanted to get.
Now Gasly and Ocon fighting. Look at this fight, very intense in Miami. Was clean, I have to say. Look at how hard they fight. Side by side, every corner. Very intense fights.
That is Esteban Ocon chancing one at Portier.
And look at that. Bam! Wow.
The two Alpines come together.
Terrible crash between the Alpines, crashing each other. What a terrible season that 24. 25 has been horrible, but look at 24 how it was. Even it get worse. Teammates fighting, crashing each other in almost every race. You know, it's like a cocktail of disgrace.
What did he do? What did he do? What did he try to attack? The whole car is damaged now.
A hard launch in the air. Obviously, it's an unfortunate incident.
It was clear instructions from the team on what to do, and this wasn't respected. So
Gasly said that Esteban Ocon did not respect the instruction of the team, polemic between teammates Gasly and Ocon, that we have the rumors that their relationship was never good between them. They had very important differences. It's, yeah.
so, these things should not happen.
In Canada now, crashing into Pérez.
Yeah, through.
Now, team orders, Ocon it's been said that it has to let by Gasly. And Ocon is not really sure if he has to do, because he's not sure that Gasly will bring back the position to him at the end. They don't trust each other. Everything is terrible.
That's what I'm working on, standby.
Okay, and let him buy, but make what's right at the end.
Ocon said, I will let pass Gasly. He was letting by, but please he has to bring back the position then. You know that.
And the cars are not swapping places.
Too nice.
And then the engineer says, no, at the end, you will not swap places again with Gasly. And Ocon gets angry. Too nice. You guys didn't do what you had to do.
Too nice. You guys didn't do what you had to do.
It's terrible.
Point there. Being too nice is not the right attitude to have in Formula 1.
And now saying Ocon that he was really nice guy. Next time he will not let pass his teammate Gasly.
These two Alpines, they're not the best of mates, are they?
Another fight between them.
Just sort of wafts towards the inside.
He's got to pass Fernando faster, losing time.
Now Gasly blaming about Ocon because they are trying to pass Fernando and Ocon is not doing it.
Ocon finally does pass Fernando Alonso.
Ocon pass. Let's see now Gasly.
Alonso trying to come back, huge amount of speed.
Ay. Don't touch, please. Don't touch. Oh.
What was that? Why did you see this run me off the track?
Yeah, good mate, we've seen it. Next car up.
Losing a piece here, Gasly crashing again. What a season, guys. You are seeing that you said, man, this team is a complete disaster.
Ocon on the left-hand side, Gasly, who's now trying to go to the outside line. He's trying to keep two wheels on the racetrack. He's done that, and Ocon can't stay in the battle.
They keep fighting. This is the British Grand Prix where even Gasly cannot even start the race because he has some kind of issue. This is the formation lap.
Gearbox issue, so
you can see the starting grid there.
We could not take part of the race.
Ocon eliminated in Hungary.
Alpine
and Gasly
circuit at the right time.
Because the strategy was terrible. I think it was a kind of qualifying. I think if it was raining at some point or the track evolved really quick in lap times, and in the last moment the pit wall of Alpine didn't didn't put the cars on track for the final run in Q3 in Q2 or Q1. I don't remember. They thought it would be safe, but the track evolves a lot and they were out because everyone was out doing laps and they were going backwards, in the timesheets. So the strategy also didn't work. They crashed each other. They have not a competitive car.
Ocon and Gasly on the back row.
Team decided to not go out. It was a strategy mistake.
Sadly.
Team's called to stay in. Unfortunately, we got that wrong.
Terrible. Terrible. But this is Formula 1. Extraordinary things can happen. And let's listen some phrases from Ocon that I rescue from one of the driver's interviews. And let's listen it.
Got faith in that team. That team some years ago were champions. These ideas.
Exactly. This team Alpine came from the old times of Renault. Don't remember that. They are world champions. 2 times world champions. This team. These guys. Aston, the base where they are operating. This instructor was world champion. Danny, thanks a lot for your effort, but the lady of the house is calling. Okay, dinner's ready. Wishing you all nice evening and good start into the week. Thank you. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Have a nice dinner. I hope you enjoy it, and you can watch the replay of the live stream later. So thank you so much for staying here. I hope you enjoy it. And see you in the next live. Don't worry. Have fun. Thank you, man.
We're created in the same places.
This is Fernando Alonso, obviously when he was at Renault.
In Aston and Viry, and it can be done. But we need to stay all united, all motivated.
And this is the moment, the reason why I made these edits. We saw the terrible season they have. We saw all the disgraces, all the bad things, what happened this season. But as I said, this is Formula 1. And sometimes even a so terrible season as it was being this one, you can see some surprises. Let's watch it.
We're down to 70 laps for the Grand Prix. The start is aborted. A second formation lap now in progress.
This is the Brazilian Grand Prix, round 21 at the end of the season. Wet race, mixed conditions, difficult race.
The Sao Paulo Grand Prix is underway. Esteban Ocon forces his way past the two V-Cubs. Max Verstappen looking to make another move up against Pierre Gasly. Hulkenberg is spun as the rain hammers down. George Russell cannot cope with the car
All chaos.
any longer.
Alpine decided to stay out.
And take on new tyres.
Look at the water on the racetrack, which would be devastating for Russell and Norris.
Esteban Ocon rolls the dice.
And he is leading.
For a full stoppage.
He's leading because they are waiting for a stoppage of the race and the red flag, and in that way don't change tires, and with the red flag stay out front in leading the race. And it happened. We had a red flag, and at that moment Ocon was leading the race in Brazil.
With these conditions, it is a red flag. The race is interrupted with Esteban Ocon, the leader. Esteban Ocon takes us back to racing conditions.
And they are leading the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Obviously, Verstappen behind at the end pass Ocon.
There's a big opportunity for George Russell, but a better one!
And Gasly was there. Gasly was there.
For Max Verstappen, who finds himself taking the lead. Max Verstappen wins the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. It's Esteban Ocon.
And Ocon finished second, and Pierre Gasly finished the double podium for Alpine. That's crazy. Seeing all what happened, what I was showing you in the edit, you cannot believe how this team was able to score a double podium this season. Obviously, chaotic race helped with the rain, the strategy, the red flag, everything. But they did the right thing. The strategy works. The decisions they took works. The drivers did a good race. And both drivers, after that terrible season, they were on the podium, guys. That's the reason why I made this edit. That's the reason. Normally, I don't like to make edits where it's everything wrong for someone. You know, I like always to create a story that spread hopes to the people, you know, and to extract conclusions that can work for life, you know, beyond Formula One. In this case, you can see how a terrible season where everything was absolutely wrong. If you continue pushing, trying, always life can give you a second chance. And the Alpine drivers, the Alpine team, had that opportunity at Sao Paulo in round 21. And they scored a double podium there. So that's absolutely amazing, guys. And this is what I want to use so now in this moment. All the enjoyment, happiness you will see, because they knew what they did. Something absolutely incredible. Having the worst cars at the beginning of the season and scoring a double podium in Brazil. That's why you will see so much happiness in these moments. With the music, everything you will see now.
Who takes his fourth career podium, and he will be joined by his teammate, Team Enstone. Have both cars.
All the pit members, crew, they cannot believe it. We cannot believe it if you see the whole edit, how the season went. You understand now their happiness. Like saying, man, what we did? How is possible we are in this position now?
On the podium.
Oh, what a race, guys! We didn't think we were gonna be there, right? And well done to Pierre on P3. That's amazing, guys.
Look at that. At the left, Ocon. At the right, Gasly celebrating with the team. Well, that's obviously the music I choose helps. Super epic. With the trophy, left side Ocon, right side Gasly. And this is the final part of the edit where both Ocon and Gasly is being interviewed by the journalist. And in this part of the edit, you will see some photos from Ocon and Gasly when they were young. I wanted to reflect in this moment that they are really happy. All along together, they are forming a team that scored a double podium. They make happy a lot of people in the team. Both friends, you know, they should to have a better connection because they are both friends, but the relationship between them never was good. You know, they had different tension internally. Rumors always said that. They know each other since they were very young, and now I wanted to reflect that, not friendship, but that that link between them after achieving a great result for Alpine, that even they can forget all the difficulties or tension or polemic they had between each other because they achieved something better, a good result for the team. Team is the most important thing.
You remember in Anvil when we were driving on the rain?
Yeah. Even on the snow.
I remember an episode where they were young, competing in karting each other, and at the right side I put a photo where Ocon and Gasly were super young, where they were friends, I think. I don't know, but I want to represent that. And years later, they still fighting now in Formula 1, in the pinnacle of the motorsport. They're laughing, hugging together. Even with that bad relationship they had, if you do something great, you achieve a good result for the team, that's what it matters, That's the most important thing.
On the snow, on the rain.
It paid off today, and I tell you, when we did that formation, in the in-lap, I think that's the first thing that came to my mind, What a beautiful story that.
This is a moment of a lifetime, It's like, as a kid, from where we came from, to end up as teammates was against all odds, but to end up on the same podium,
that's more against all odds.
On a season like this year, because no one would have been able to put a podium.
Exactly. That's exactly resumes what I'm trying to transmit in this edit. What is saying Pierre Gasly? Exactly that.
But both cars on it, and in the way we did it is just incredible.
And that's the end of the edit. I'll move on to the last edit of today that ends the second part of this Docuedit 2024. And the last edit we will going to watch tonight today is about Daniel Ricciardo. Okay, this is a driver that actually is not in Formula 1 and he will never anymore in Formula 1 because he retired forever after this 24 season. But obviously Daniel Ricciardo was a very important driver during all this year, multiple race winner in Red Bull, incredible races. He's a funny guy, a very interesting guy, very interesting character, not only on track, also off track. Probably my favorite driver off track. I had so good times with Daniel watching videos from him, making jokes. It's my favorite driver off track. And obviously, after this season in 24, that was the last one, I had to do something about it, And what we will going to watch now is his last season in Formula 1, the way it ends, and obviously a tribute for Daniel Ricciardo and his career in Formula 1. For this edit, I had a bit of context in the blog, in the episode 7. I think I have context here, yes. Let's read a bit the context of this edit and let's watch it before to say goodbye for today. The Australian driver Daniel Ricciardo starts the 2024 Formula 1 season and, as usual, smiling. It's his second season in Formula 1 during the second stage of his career in this category after his comeback at the middle of the 2023 season driving for Scuderia AlphaTauri, known this 2024 season as Vishal Kashyap RB. Daniel was trying to be as fast as possible since race 1, trying to score maximum number of points for the team and trying to beat his teammate, the Japanese driver Yuki Tsunoda. Unfortunately, the season did not start in the way Daniel was expecting for. Some mistakes like a spin in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix or some crashes like the one he had with Alex Albon at the start of the Japanese Grand Prix frustrated the confidence of Daniel in the car. In qualifying, was not able to squeeze the last tenths of the car. Had in one lap pace, being beat by Tsunoda most of the times. Tsunoda was his teammate at that time. Everything changed for Ricciardo in the sprint race of the Miami Grand Prix on Saturday morning. He qualified in an incredible 4th place in the sprint qualifying, finishing in the same position in the sprint race, holding two much faster cars, the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz and the McLaren of Oscar Piastri, every single lap. Those 5 points were the first of the season, but most important than that, it were a signal of the possible comeback of the best level of Daniel driving in Formula 1. Unfortunately, after that sprint race in Miami, the season back to the initial point. Daniel kept struggling to extract the full potential of the car and Tsunoda kept beat Daniel most of the race weekends. Ricciardo was able to score points in 3 more races, finishing 8th in Canada, 9th in Austria and 10th in Belgium. In the round 18 of the 2024 season, during the Singapore Grand Prix, rumors said that it could be the last race in Formula 1 for Daniel Ricciardo. After finishing 18th in race, Daniel decided to stay in the car some seconds more than usual, confirming some minutes later in the post-race interview that he wanted to cherish those final seconds in the car, knowing it could be the last time. Rumors were true and Daniel Ricciardo was substituted by the New Zealand driver Liam Lawson for the remaining 6 races of the season. That was the farewell season for Daniel Ricciardo, a driver that was able to win 8 times in Formula 1, achieving multiple pole positions and doing amazing overtakes during the 10 years he was competing in Formula 1. Daniel not only will be remembered for his performance on track, also for his good vibes off track, his jokes and smile, making a bit better the day of his fans, teammates and the team around in every race weekend. Yes, that are my words. These are my words, and that's what I wanted to represent in this edit, guys. And this is what we going to watch in the next minutes. This is very emotional, especially if you were a Daniel Ricciardo fan, or if you are. And the seconds it was in the car after the Singapore Grand Prix, cherishing these moments, it's exactly this moment, what you are seeing now. This is the last race of his life in Formula 1. After the race he knew it will be the last time in a Formula 1 car. That's why he was some minutes in the car after the race, probably crying. That's how it starts the edit. And now, let's watch it. Always smiling, Daniel. That's what I love from him.
I've driven a long time. I know when things don't feel quite right. The only thing that's probably keeping me a little bit optimistic now is we did find a few things.
He's talking about the start of the season. Obviously, at that point, he had his hopes to do a good job, to continue in Formula 1. But he was not comfortable enough with the car. Tsunoda was beat him more or less most of the times. He was trying to find in details, trying to find performance. That's what he was talking about.
And then a few laps from the end, I ate a bit too much curb in turn 1 and had a spin.
An error. Another error in Japan.
And a big crash into the tyre barrier.
With Albon.
Daniel's come across on Alex Albon. I think he did have more space on the left hand.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Daniel's fault. Daniel's fault there.
Just squeezed me. Yeah, you could see me kind of going a little bit sideways and everyone kind of got choked up and that was that. Yeah, unfortunately a short Sunday.
Yeah. More barrels on track here with Bottas, I think. Ah, yes. Good move.
I am quite pleased with what we did. It just unfortunately wasn't good enough to get rewarded.
Oh, that is ridiculous. That is a huge hit into the back of Daniel Ricciardo.
That was a Stroll fault in a safety car restart. That was not Daniel's fault, but obviously it didn't help him to continue in China.
We had obviously a lot of damage, so we had to retire the car. Yeah, frustrating, obviously.
He was a bit unlucky as well at some point of the season. Maybe, I don't know, probably in this race was able to score points without that crash. As always, I put images from Daniel smiling. I think, as I said, I have to recognize that I'm a fan of Daniel Ricciardo. No, it's not my favorite. It was not my favorite driver, but in some seasons, for example, in 2014, I remember when he was teammate of Sebastian Vettel in Red Bull, he did an incredible season. But apart from that, I love the personality of Daniel Ricciardo. He's a driver that I enjoyed so much. I love him so much, especially in the old times when he was in Red Bull with Max Verstappen. At that time, Red Bull made cool videos with Max and Daniel. The relationship was very good. It was very fun to watch, and I love the character of the personality of Daniel Ricciardo. That's why I wanted to represent Daniel in this docu edit, because it was his last time in Formula 1.
Yeah, we're missing something. So take a few little positives from the week, but obviously a few more things to work on and quick turnaround. So I took plenty of notes through the race and plenty of feedback to give to the team. So we'll try.
I know a lot of feedback. He was working really hard to understand why he was failing, why he was not finding the pace in that RB. He was trying, but unfortunately, yeah, the pace never came too much in this season.
And put it to good use. Sunshine.
By the way, the song is from a music group named as the Aston Elises. Obviously, I play with the lyrics of the song, as you will see now. But also, I use the song from these guys, from this artist, as a tribute, because a lot of years ago in my YouTube channel in FLoz, let's watch my YouTube channel. One of my first edits was about Daniel Ricciardo. I think it was in 2014 when I made this video. Move on to the oldest. My sixth video was this one, the Great Surprise the Great Surprise of the Year, Daniel Ricciardo, where I show highlights of Daniel in 2014. That he did a great season 11 years ago, man. 11 years I made this video. And the song I used was from the same artist, the same musical group name as the Aston. I don't know how it's pronounced. It's this group, the Aston Elises. This one, the Aston Elises. I used this song from them, and in this edit, in the Docuedit, I use a song from the same composers, like a tribute for that video I made a lot of years ago, reminding all times, you know. It's like a connection between me as a creator at that time, making Daniel Ricciardo edits, and now doing probably my last Daniel Ricciardo edit in this Docuedit. It's also beautiful. So let's continue.
I felt like we weren't a very fast car in our group, so we were just hanging on by the skin of our teeth. Is that what they say?
Even in the darkest place turns into paradise. Obviously, in the context of the lyrics of the song, it's not referring to Daniel Ricciardo, but I use the lyrics to use it as a context for Daniel Ricciardo. It's like, even in the darkest place turns into paradise. It's something like, even in the worst moments for Daniel, he always was smiling and tried to be positive, you know. Even in the darkest place, he will always be smile and to try to put a good face and to try to overcome the difficulties with a smile on his face. That's what I love from Daniel, and that's the way I use the lyrics to represent that in Daniel in the edit.
And the driver from Perth in Australia going the long way round and improving his position. This is for P16. With Daniel Ricciardo.
Some highlights.
It's a 5-second time penalty for Daniel Ricciardo for forcing another car off the track.
You race hard, but little things can obviously make a difference. So
highs and downs.
Sorry for him, and then we had the penalties. Anyway, I watched a little bit wider. I'd nearly forgot about it.
Track limits.
Honestly felt like I gave it all.
His lap time was deleted in Australia because track limits. Trying to fight in Hungary. Being passed.
He's got past Daniel Ricciardo.
And he tried.
Some other guys also did a strong race.
Sadly. And he kept trying.
You know, that's obviously some strengths of our car when we can show it, but also the weaknesses. So, but obviously a lot of that's on me as well to qualify better.
It's humble, saying that it has to qualify better. And now we come to the highlights of the season. At least we have a highlights. An amazing P4 in the sprint race in Miami, holding up a McLaren and a Ferrari. That was the highlight of the season for Daniel, and obviously I use it to represent that in the edit.
Fighting towards the front just feels so much nicer. You see a Ferrari in your mirrors and it's like, all right, challenge accepted.
It's been a defiant drive.
Exactly.
For Daniel Ricciardo takes 4th place for their best
Great.
in any race format this year.
Feels good.
And Carlos doing this move to Daniel, like saying, man, good job. What a result you could achieve in that car.
They deserve it. I can't swear, but we've gone through a bit of stuff to get here. So it's also nice to remind some people.
Oh, well, now probably referring to some criticism from someone. We don't know. And we go to Singapore, guys. This is the end. This is the last race of Daniel in Formula 1 forever. But also, there is a beautiful moment that is connected in this case to Max Verstappen. Let's watch it.
And the Singapore Grand Prix is underway.
Not a good race. It was pass.
Lando Norris takes the checkered flag. A dominant drive complete. Max Verstappen come home in second place.
Well done, Max. You got every ounce of performance out of that today. Your old pal Daniel picked up a fastest lap at the end as well, mate.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel. That means in that season, in 24, still the fastest lap of the race was rewarded if you finish in top 10 with 1 point. At that time, in that period of the season, Max Verstappen and Lando Norris were fighting for the championship, and Lando Norris had the fastest lap in that race. So that's why Daniel was called by the team in the final laps to put soft tires, low fuel, and to steal the fastest lap to Lando Norris, and in that way to steal 1 point for fastest lap to Lando Norris in his fight with Max Verstappen in Red Bull Racing. Because remember that the team that was Daniel, RB and Red Bull are like, you know, they are sisters, to say in some way. They officially they cannot say that they are like the same structure, the same team, to say in some way. They cannot say that because it's forbidden. But we all know that the connection between these teams is obvious. And obviously Daniel was called by the team to help Max Verstappen achieving that fastest lap and stealing the point from Lando Norris in helping in that way to Max in that fight with Lando Norris for the championship. That's why now he's saying Max in the team radio, thank you, Daniel. And it's also important because Max Verstappen was teammate of Daniel a lot of years in Red Bull. They have some problems in their relationship on track sometimes, but in general, off track, they share beautiful moments together, very funny. And that's what I wanted also to represent in this edit, to remember these moments where Max and Daniel were in the same team, off track, funny moments, and you will see now.
Hola todos. Hello everyone.
These moments.
A lot of emotions because look, I'm aware it could be it. The cockpit is something that.
And now he will get emotional because he knew it was the last race in Formula 1. A bit sad, but I had to represent this moment.
I got very, very used to for many years.
And now you will see some highlights of the best moments in Formula 1 of Daniel with Red Bull, also with McLaren, the 2 years he was, the wins he achieved. I don't want to say anything here. Let's watch it just that.
I don't know how you did that, Daniel. Incredible. Only tomorrow. Cheers, boys. Redemption.
And yeah, just wanted to savor the moment.
That's it. I don't need to say anything. Very emotional. If you are Daniel Ricciardo fan, I'm sure it was emotional. What a shame. I will miss Daniel, not only on track, also off track. And this is the end of the edit, as always. And as we saw previously with Pierre Gasly in my Patreon page, I have a collection named Docuedit, where I explain a lot of things about the Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon edit we watched previously. Also, I have an episode, I think, dedicated to Daniel Ricciardo at some point. I don't remember when, but in these episodes of the Developer Diary, I have episodes dedicated to every single edit where I reveal more things. This is about the Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon edit in Alpine we watched before. About Alpine, the French team, about Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon. FLoz Premium members, this is the very latest edit I was working on in the moment I recorded this. This was shared for FLoz Premium members at that time when I was making the Docuedit that was early access, but here I am still saying very interesting things about the edits, about how I was building it, the story behind, and the FLoz Premium members here, as you can see, they had access to these videos, and you can get access to these videos, as I said, in my Patreon page, unlocking them, becoming FLoz Premium member, or buying the collections, in this case, the Docuedit 2024 season, where I have 10 episodes that I named Developer Diary, where I explain a lot of insights about the making process of this Docuedit, about every single edit, as I was explaining during this whole life. And as I said, I have a lot of exclusive content in my Patreon page, and also it's a way you can support all the work I put and effort I put in these videos. If you really enjoy it, you really love them, you really makes you feel better or makes you feel more love for Formula 1, that's the way people can support me in my Patreon page, patreon.com/FLoz. Also, I have a membership here on YouTube. I will talk about it in the next lives. But just that. And you can receive exclusive content if you support me on Patreon. It's a win-win. You support me, I give you more content, more insights about my videos. So, yeah, it's a win-win, I think. Guys, I think this is the end for the moment. We have watched the first 63 minutes of the more or less 90 minutes long this documentary, this Docuedit 2024 season is. And obviously, this is the part 2. In the future, we will continue watching the Docuedit part 3, the last one. That is obviously the most intense. So, I hope you really enjoy it. Don't forget to share this video if you really enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe if you are really enjoying these lives. And as I said, let's watch the final part the next day. I don't know when still, but if you are subscribed, you will receive a notification to understand when the lives goes on. And in case you are watching this video in the future, I will place somewhere an end screen here where you will be able to watch the next part, the part 3 of the reaction of the Docuedit 24 season. And this is the end, guys. Thank you so much for staying here. Don't forget to subscribe here, and see you very, very soon watching the final part of the Docuedit. Thanks for staying here. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.